Hi, my name is Katie Harris. I am a piano teacher and I have something that's called synesthesia. So, synesthesia is basically just a blending of two different senses. The most common form of it, I believe, is people associating a color or maybe a personality with a certain letter of the alphabet. Like some people, you still read it as black text or whatever, but it's like, oh, A's red or B is blue. I mean, B makes sense as blue. Anyway, that's the most common form of it. There are other forms, like people will feel shapes in their like in their mouths or in their minds when they taste certain flavors. For me personally, though, I associate certain tones of music with color. Um, and it can be anywhere from a different range of colors, and it drastically changes depending on the song, kind of the form of the piece. So we have a lot of the things that I do with that is I paint songs based on the colors that I hear when I listen to them, and I'll have people commission me for that. So a lot of the commissions I get are pop songs or Christian hymns or folk songs as such, and those are typically very simple songs. They have a few chords in there, so I'll maybe use a lot of them are in C, so that's a lot of yellows with some purples and oranges or whatever. Like one of them, Peace Train, uses a lot of that. And since it's so simple, there's not a whole lot that I can do to build off of it to make it a little more interesting. But what I do is I take the lyrics from the song that don't necessarily influence how I see it, but I use that to create a shape in the painting. Like I said with Peace Train, I turned it into an actual train. Or another one that I did was Blackbird by the Beatles, and I did it in the shape of a bird. I added black to it, but the song itself I see as more of like a purple with some hints of deep red and pale blue and yellow, so those are more highlight colors in there to kind of accent the painting, so that way it looks like what it sounds like. But my favorite kinds to do are the more abstract ones, which tend to be either more complicated pieces of music that are more modern, or mostly classical pieces written by composers like Beethoven, Mozart, so on and so forth. Those tend to spin through a lot of different keys at once, and they tend to look very different. I tend to like really impressionistic pieces that go through a lot of different colors that may not make sense at first, but those are the most interesting in my head, and they tend to be more abstract shapes and forms or kind of billows. It's kind of hard to explain, but I like how those turn out better. I have more freedom with how I kind of want the piece to move and the way that I want the colors to overlap with each other instead of having to structure it around a specific shape. Those are my favorite kinds of paintings to do personally, but I also enjoy the challenge of doing the simpler structured pieces and fitting them to a certain image. But yeah, that's what I do, and I enjoy doing it. It's something that makes me a bit more different than everyone else, but I'm happy to share that with other people with